Welcome to the Scam Model Club. On this week's show we will be unboxing, building and painting a 1/76 scale Airfix scammel tank transporter. Great. A little bit of an idea for another small diorama of mine, so let's get on with it. Really great. Hello everyone. Right, lockdown special. I have had this in my stash for a good 8 years, I reckon. Right, it's an Airfix kit. On the side of the box, standard stuff. You've got a little bit of information about the scammel, picture the scammel on either end, and on the back you've got the information for the Airfix Club, which I've no idea if it's still going. Right, let's get in this box and see what it's like. Bought this a long time ago, and never really got round to it. Got kicked around in a cupboard for a bit, that's why the box is in a bit of a rubbish state. But standard Airfix kit. Here we have the instructions, a little bit of information about the truck, the tank transporter. Only 2 pages of instructions, but they're not brilliant. It's a very old kit. From what I understand, it was done in 1981, or it was made in 1981, but I don't really know, I'm not sure. I'm not an aficionado on that kind of thing. 2 paint jobs. We have got a green one and a North African one. The other one is a division from Normandy, and that one's from the North African desert. Sheet decals, standard Airfix details, nicely done. I'm going to do the desert version because I like the desert colours. Got a thing for the desert colours. Don't know why. It's quite popular at the moment. Right, as I said, it's a very old kit. Let's get in this bag. Look out. Really should make an effort to clear my desk when I'm doing this. I shouldn't really need to see the camera and stuff. Anyway, so we have got first sprue, which is the trailer, and a few bits and pieces that go on the trailer. Lots of flash. Not a lot of detail, but it's a lorry trailer. How much detail do you need? But it is all there. It's all fully moulded, so it's a workable kit. That's the other part of the trailer. So now we have the cab. I've got a driver. Not going to use the driver. I do paint him, and you've got the cab doors and the roof. There we go. An awful lot of wheels and axles, and then we have the other parts of the lorry, fuel tanks, that kind of thing, bits to the trailer, the main body of the interior of the truck, and another sprue of wheels. There's an awful lot of flash, there's an awful lot of moulding, and there's a few bits that needed an awful lot of work to fit, but as I said, I've got a little bit of an idea, which really looking forward to doing it. So here we go, let's get on and glue this thing together. So what I'll do is I'll start with the usual, cut it from the sprue with your sprue cutters, clean it up with your sander, have a look at the instructions, make sure you need to find the next bit, and I think we'll speed up the film from here because we all really know how to glue a model together by now. But I didn't want to cut anything else out, so we can see all the work I'm doing. Hope everybody's well. Again, another week of lockdown. I must admit I'm struggling. I am bored and have had enough, and have done a few models, and it's quite difficult to make the effort to get the camera out and film it all and talk over it. But it's all good character building. Also, if any of you out there have lost the mojo of modelling and really want to get it back, the best thing to do is to get yourself a nice little 172 kit. It doesn't take a lot of building. I'm not taking anything away from 172 kit. You can make them just as nice as any other kit, but generally, as a rule, there's less parts, less faffing around, and it's done quite quickly. You can get one done in a day if you know, and it can really motivate you into wanting to do something else quite big. I've done quite a few big models recently, and the length of time it takes me to do them is starting to get on my nerves, so this is why I'm going to do a couple of extra little ones. But I thought I'll do the truck. I noticed cars aren't popular on YouTube, not many people like them, so sorry about this one being a truck, but I am going to build a tank to go with the truck. So when, I'm not sure, because I haven't actually got a 176 tank in the arsenal of my stash. So, but we can do a little bit of groundwork, can't we? Do some deserty groundwork so we can all know what it's going to sit on. So what's that, one side on, get the other side on, get the front on, and bosh, that's your cab done. Gonna try and get the whole thing done in this video, otherwise they can be a bit long-winded, I think. So just trying some new techniques, and hopefully more people will want to watch it. Although they'll probably find out it's my voice and everyone goes, "Oh, watch an idiot." I am a normal person. I am not a modelling aficionado. I do literally do stuff to how I like it to look, and I generally use stuff that I like to use and that I've got used to using. But any information is good information, and if anybody wants to comment and tell me any new techniques, help yourselves. Make sure you all like and subscribe. Click that notification button and the bell so you get notified of all my lovely videos. Now this was a bit awkward, didn't really fit together very well, but so I took a bit of mucking around off camera, and but once it all got into shape, it started together right nice. It's a nice mod. I'll tell you what, the irritating thing was it didn't have any glass with it. There was no clear parts, so I was a bit sort of so I don't know if you can buy clear parts for it, but must admit most of my models are out of the box, so I'm not massive on the whole creative art and build it yourself stuff. It's far too complicated for me. It looks awesome, I've got to say. Some of the scratch build stuff I've seen is just phenomenal, but not for me. Mainly because of my talent. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to half build this, because I think the next stage is to put the roof on. I'm not going to put the roof on because I want to paint the interior. I'm going to paint the whole thing the desert colours. I have seen somewhere that people paint the inside green and the chairs red, and obviously people that know more about the scammel than I do. But I'm just doing it out of the box as per box says. Right, so what's next? So this is it all together. Like I said, I left the roof off. I just knocked up the trailer. The trailer was pretty much the same as the cab. You cut it from the sprue, sand it, fit it in nice. It actually, to be fair, for such an old kit, it did all fit together really well. I'm going to undercoat it all now in NATO black, not NATO black, it's rubber black, but that's because I've run out of NATO black. And the rubber black's number is XF85 if you're interested in doing it, but I would personally go for the NATO black. I just can't remember what the NATO black's number is. So let's spin this up too. So when I was painting the interior, I painted the inside first, because you have to get in a lot of nooks and crannies. You have to be a bit careful you don't make the paint run, and then go around the outside, apart from the two bits your fingers are holding, and want them just to cover everything in the colour of black. The reason I'm using black is for a shadow coat. So I just think it looks a little bit nicer when you start putting the colour on the top, that you don't have to sort of muck about with trying to do panel lines with a little bit of smoky black. They're already there if you just put a light coat over the top. Now, unfortunately I can't show you because I think the camera went wrong, but I haven't got the footage of me painting it in the yellow colour, which is awkward. I painted it in dark yellow, which is XF60. I thought about painting it in desert yellow, which is usually the Allies Tamiya colour of the beige that is painted, but XF60 is a little bit lighter, and I was going to go over the vehicle with a dark wash and then some sand, so I wanted it to be light to start with, and then I'll darken it down with some washes and some sand. Nice, that looks like the truck done. Get on with the trailer. Spin this piece up a bit, should we? So that's the truck, the trailer, the wheels, the roof and the driver, all covered in rubber black primer. Excellent, all ready for the top coat. Get a few of those extra bits I missed, and then we shall let this dry.
1 hour later.
So that's the yellow. I'm going to hand brush all the wheels here, so you get a better, I mean you could mask them up, but I prefer doing it this way, just what I've been used to really. So I paint all the wheels by hand with the dark yellow, and then pop it in the airbrush and put a light coat on the truck, the roof, the trailer, and leave the wheels off till last. Whenever I want to thin the Tamiya paint, I always use the Tamiya thinner. It's the best stuff for it, and I've never found anything else that works nicely with it, so I stick with what I know. And once that's done, we can move on.
A few moments later.
There we go. So as you can see, I have painted the main truck and I've painted the trailer, just a light coat, so actually if you look carefully you can just see the dark shadows. And now I'm putting the wheels together and fitting it onto the trailer. Now the wheels didn't fit quite well together, so that's a file. I had to file out the middle of the axle to then get them to click together. Once they clicked together, covered them in glue and stuck them on the axle, and I did exactly the same for the truck part. That's the trailer done. And now I did exactly the same for the truck. So cut the wheels out. Some of the middle spindles weren't a good shape, so a bit of a sand, a bit of a file. That's a round file that fitted in the hole quite nicely. So as I filed it, actually filed everything about the same kind of. Sometimes you can file one side too much and you get a funny oval, but that fitted the hole really nicely. A bit of glue. Also my glue's running out as well, so might have to swap to a different glue to try and save some of that, otherwise we're going to be stuck. See, it's a bit of a. They were a bit of a sod, because they just didn't want to fit together. And the wheels on the back actually had like a pin, so and then the pin didn't fit through, so I had to drill the hole out in the middle, just a tiny bit, just to get the pin to fit through. It may well have been a paint that was the problem, or it may have been the mould. You never know, but all went in the end. Look, pin goes through, and you stick the pin on, and you glue the axle, and stick the wheel onto the axle. To be honest, for such an old kit, it actually turned out really nicely, and it didn't fit that badly. It's just, if you take your time, a little bit of patience, it worked out nice. Also, I've had this kit for so long, I didn't even think that was going to be in one piece. Not even sure if you can still buy it. I think actually now it's out in the classics range, whereas when I bought it, it was part of their normal everyday range. But you know, we've all got a stash with old models in it. I might actually finish off some models in this series as well, because I've got quite a few finished, half done, lying around. I know there's a Hurricane I've got half done somewhere, and I've also got a Typhoon half done, but don't know. Right, so all the paint's on, all the wheels on, and now I'm going to cover the whole thing in some clear. What I'm going to do is I'm going to clear coat the inside of the truck, and clear coat all of it, but still leaving the roof off, because I want to get some wash inside the truck before I stick the roof on. So let's just speed this bit up a bit. So now the whole thing's been clear coated. I've let it dry for a good couple of hours. I think it was the morning after that I started doing the decals actually. So standard, I'll speed this up a little bit. Dip your decals in some warm water till they move about on the backing sheet. Slide them onto the model in the right place. Put a little bit of mark fit on so that they conform to the shape and they look a little bit more like a painted sticker rather than a sticker or a decal you've put on. So a little bit of mark strong and put the decal over the top of it, and once it's on and where you want it, you just mop up the excess mark fit with a cotton bud. I really must do some sort of little tutorial-y things where the camera's a bit close so you can see what I'm doing, and also clear my bench up. This is the main reason why I wanted to do the desert one, because it's actually called Snow White and it has a Snow White across the top of it. The other one just had stars on it, and there's nothing worse than doing a European or a Allied truck putting stars on it. Unless it's American, then it needs stars. But that's just my OCD. Right, so that's the decals on, clear coated, shadow coat done, pretty much near the end now. Now we're going to cover the whole thing in a wash. Now this was a mixture of a wash that you don't see I don't have the mixtures in the bottle, but it is a dark tone from Army Painter, and that was and there's a reddy tone which is called soft tone, I think, and it's got like a slightly red tinge to it. When you mix the two together, it has quite a nice shade, so that's what I tend to do with the deserty stuff. Also, I think that's the same colour that goes on a lot of German tanks, so there's a lot of, you know, the Africa Corps tanks. We'll speed this bit up as well, because literally just deliberately paint it all over the vehicle. I say this is more of a filter than a wash because it's watered down a little bit more, and it changes the yellow colour and just leaves some darkened areas rather than actually darkening it down.
One hour later.
Now, I'm going to try some weathering powder because I've actually got some sand. I've got Decalfix is the fixing agent. So what you do is wipe a little bit of Decalfix on, and then use a different paintbrush. So the Decalfix is in my little pot. So just paint that around the wheels, and then you dip your other brush in the sand coloured pigment and cover it in pigment so it flows it out. It goes on like a paint, because as the pigment touches the Decalfix, it turns into like a paint. Now when it dries, it will dry and look like powder. It's strange, it looks very dusty, it's strange, but it's a nice little effect. And the other thing is, if you use the Decalfix to actually glue it down, you can then reactivate it with Decalfix. So just dip yourself a cotton bud. I covered the whole thing in sand, dipped a cotton bud in some Decalfix, and then wiped it around the tyre part, because you know when you look at mud on tyres, the actual sidewalls don't tend to get dirty that much. So, and as you wipe it round, you can wipe it off, or you can actually reactivate the powder that is there and just move it about, move it into positions where you want it, and then as it goes off and it goes off, it sticks. Good stuff. So I'll just let you watch me do the last little bit, and then we'll show you some pictures of the finished article. I have enjoyed building it. It's alright. Like I said, I decided to do it just after I did the Lotus, and the Lotus just bombed on YouTube. Nobody seemed to like it, and I think it's because it's just, I don't know, perhaps people don't like cars, or perhaps people have got other things to do. Can't really blame anyone, can you, in the current climate? So make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell. Make sure you stay indoors, do some more modelling, take some pictures of it, stick it on the Conversation Shed website. Have a look at Russ's stuff, and good luck in the coming weeks, everyone. So I think that looks plenty sandy, dusty enough, see what I mean? Yeah, that will do me. A few little extra bits here and there, and now we'll see some pictures of the finished article.